Hello everybody, my name is Raxef, and the Azeroth War campaign is over, or is it? Patch 8.2.5 brought us several cinematics and cutscenes that honestly provided more questions than answers as we move forward with the Battle for Azeroth storyline. Let's take a look at exactly what happened and see if we can glean any information on where we might be headed next. We begin with Anduin and Saurfang meeting in private to discuss a final assault on Orgrimmar in an attempt to end Sylvanas' grip on the Horde. Saurfang is clearly disturbed, reflecting on the Horde's brutal legacy founded on lies and violence.
The Horde I joined was birthed through blood, tainted by corruption. The road that led to the Dark Portal was long and wide, paved with the bones of innocence. We called it the Path of Glory.
He's afraid that the Horde will never be free from the cycle of hatred, and that mending the gap between the two factions is impossible. Anduin believes that there is still hope, and the two join other leaders such as Thrall, Baine, and Jaina, rallying their forces for a march on Orgrimmar to protect Azeroth. This is the culmination of events that started all the way back when Anduin first released Saurfang from the stockades in Stormwind at the beginning of BFA. After the rebels make their way to the gates of Orgrimmar, it becomes apparent that their forces are outmatched and that many lives will be lost. In an attempt to limit casualties, Saurfang challenges Sylvanas to Mak-Gorah, the Orcish duel of honor. Sylvanas accepts, though Thrall warns Saurfang that victory is impossible. Regardless, Saurfang faces Sylvanas, wielding Thrall's axe and Anduin's sword Shadowlands, obviously symbolizing a unity between the two factions. As Saurfang and Sylvanas fight, it becomes clear that the Banshee Queen has the upper hand. She taunts that hope will die with him. However, Saurfang finds a second wind, retorting that hope will always remain, despite Sylvanas' attempts. He lands a blow on her, claiming that the Horde will endure and is strong. She exclaims that the Horde is nothing, her words having a very visible effect on the guard at her side.
Let it be finished.
The High Overlord falls. I trusted you. And so did they. Death comes, old soldier. And all their hope dies with you.
You cannot kill hope. You tried at Teldrassil. You failed. Hope remains. You set us to kill each other at Lordaeron. You failed. Here we stand. You just keep failing. The Horde will endure. The Horde is strong.
The Horde is nothing!
With Saurfang's final words of "For Azeroth," she defeats him with a blast of shadowy magic. It is here that Sylvanas turns towards both the Horde and the Alliance, stating that we are nothing but toy soldiers in tin howling for honor. And with that, she flies off into the sky.
If you could see yourselves as I see you. Toy soldiers in tin plate. Beasts who howl for honor. Standing as one. Savor it. Nothing lasts.
A mourning Zekhan asks what they will do now, and Thrall responds that they will bring Saurfang home. After a moment of pause, Sylvanas' guard signals to open the gates as Thrall, Anduin, and Zekhan carry Saurfang's body inside. At Saurfang's funeral, Thrall and Anduin reflect on the orcs' heroic deeds. One of my favorite moments during the scene was Thrall promising to take Saurfang home to Nagrand to be with his ancestors. This perfectly parallels Saurfang's mourning of the death of his own son back in Wrath of the Lich King. For those who remain loyal to Sylvanas, we later meet with her at the Windrunner Spire in the Ghostlands. She laments that Saurfang's challenge ended the war prematurely, however countless souls have still been fed to the hungering darkness. She goes on to say that everyone will learn the truth, referencing a bargain with Azshara, and that the armies of Azeroth will fight her master, Ny'alotha, stating that he too will serve death, with a capital D. Apparently, when next we see her, we will understand everything. We also get a little epilogue between Jaina and her brother Derek and Caelia Menethil. The three discuss the ending of the war and Caelia's assistance in helping Derek find his way as an undead. Jaina alludes that others may need help finding their footing and Caelia could guide them, though Caelia herself is unsure if she is fit for such a task. I think this opens doors to a lot of possibilities, but I want to save Caelia's involvement with the Alliance and the Horde for a future video. Now, while a lot happened in these events, it really just raises more questions for me. It's clear that Sylvanas still has some kind of plan unfolding that can go on even without the Horde. I know that I wasn't the only one to notice when she spoke of death it was with a capital D. While it seems evident that she won't be attempting to siege any city like Thunder Bluff or Stormwind, the Shadowlands still might play a role in this expansion or most likely the next. I think it's very likely that whatever entity personifies death might be the same exact one that convinced Vol'jin to name Sylvanas Warchief in the first place. Another prevailing theme throughout both BFA and Legion has been the concept of bargains or deals. In Legion, Sylvanas made a bargain with Helia. The Nightborn originally bargained with the Legion. In BFA, we had Rostakhan making a deal with Bonsamdi. We know that Xal'atath made a deal with N'Zoth in order to gain her freedom, and now it's come to light that Sylvanas made some sort of bargain with Azshara. Over and over again, these deals keep happening between characters. Come to think of it, doesn't Tyrande make a type of bargain with Elune, sacrificing herself to become the Night Warrior? To me, it just seems all too canny of a thing to ignore. With all this emphasis on everyone eventually submitting to death and the idea of the emergence of the Shadowlands, it's possible that Sylvanas made a deal of her own long ago. Perhaps she managed to locate the Loa Hakar and make a deal with him to go down this path and send as many souls to the Shadowlands as possible. It was also revealed that the magic Sylvanas used to defeat Saurfang was unlike any that the onlookers had seen before. If this does include Void's magic, which I don't see why it wouldn't, perhaps this magic comes from a place that's not really been explored before, like the Shadowlands. I know we're kind of getting into 4D chess territory here, but it does seem to make sense to me. On the other side of this, I do need to bring up Tyrande, who I did mention earlier. I'm not the only one who's noticed that she's been very obviously absent from any of these stories, as the last we saw of her was back when she became the Night Warrior to take back Darkshore. Now even Anduin has admitted that she isn't responding to any of his letters. She didn't even make an appearance in our fight against Azshara, whom was one of her fiercest adversaries in the War of the Ancients. Now that there is relative unity among the Horde and the Alliance, once again, I think it's possible that Blizzard is setting us up for some kind of faction descent, particularly in the Alliance. I can foresee the leaders of the Horde and the Alliance trying to mend the gap with their work being jeopardized by a still vengeful Tyrande who wants nothing but justice for the burning of Teldrassil. Either way, it certainly feels like we're starting to reach the close of certain chapters in World of Warcraft, with the beginnings of brand new ones finally making their way to light. Obviously, there is a lot more to cover here, such as a deeper look at Caelia Menethil and the return of Wrathion, but I wanted to make sure that for this particular video, we just stuck to the events surrounding the immediate conclusion of the war campaign. As the weeks progress, I'm sure that more and more content will be released, but until that point, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you very much for watching this video. What do you think is coming next for us in World of Warcraft? Do you think we'll have yet another continent to explore come 8.3 like the Shadowlands or a city like Ny'alotha? Or do you think we'll even deal with N'Zoth by the time this expansion is over? Would you rather have the entire Shadowlands and Ny'alotha themed out in the next expansion? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. I also stream every week at twitch.tv/Raxef. Link is in the description. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you all next time.